up, people? And I'm back once again for another fragrance review video. Okay, so this will be, I believe, the last part, and instead of 5, I think we have maybe 6 fragrances here to review this time. Let's get into it. That's not my intro, oops, that's Hurley Fragrances intro. Okay, so what we got to start off with is a nice fragrance this time. So this is another hype fragrance, kind of a more recent release, I believe. This one is called Terre d'Hermès Eau Givrée. Terre d'Hermès Eau Givrée. So, as you would probably know from watching previous videos, or if you've ever read my comments on other videos, I am not a big fan of Terre d'Hermès, the original or the Parfum. I believe that Terre d'Hermès is, the citrus is very cheap smelling. I believe the citrus is a little bit poisonous smelling, like toilet spray, and it is a very woody, green fragrance while also being a very citrus based fragrance. So you would know it's citrus and wood that you get in Terre d'Hermès, but also you do get that green from, I'm talking about the original Terre d'Hermès, by the way. You also get the green from, can't remember if it's like pine or cypress or juniper, but there is something like in there that gives it a little bit of a green feel. It could possibly even just be that wood, like the vetiver, cedar kind of wood, whatever they use in there. So how does the Eau Givrée perform, or how does it stack up against the other ones, in my opinion? I think the Eau Givrée is probably the best Terre d'Hermès. Like, I didn't really like Terre d'Hermès, so I do like this. To explain why, this has a very nice natural smelling citrus, so that's already a big improvement. The citrus of this is very good quality. The problem is it's more of a rindy, zesty, sour citrus, so it leans a little bit more towards like grapefruit. I think it is grapefruit in here, but it ends up smelling like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. Well, not exactly the same, but it's got that same kind of smell to it where that grapefruit is not going to be for everyone. Some women might actually hate it because the grapefruit is a very, apparently challenging scent. Can smell like sweat or whatever. So this is still woody and citrusy, but they've taken out a lot of that green that really I found was a little bit too challenging. So what you get here is a very nice high quality citrus or grapefruit, and then you don't really get the Sichuan pepper in here. I think there is supposed to be Sichuan pepper, but I can't smell it. But if you don't know what Sichuan pepper smells like, it is a little bit citrusy, a little bit like cardamom. Yeah, it's a little bit like cardamom, pink pepper, and it does have a citrusy kind of smell to it. That's what Sichuan pepper is, but I don't get that in here. To me, this is still a woody, slightly green, but mainly citrus fragrance, this one. Very good citrus. Performance of this is what's lacking though, so they've sacrificed the performance in order to give you a higher quality, natural smelling fragrance here. So higher quality, less performance, but overall a better smelling fragrance too. So that's what I get in here. Yeah, there used to be Beast Mode. I know Terre d'Hermès, the Parfum at least, was a Beast Mode fragrance, and this is like kind of average performance now. So yeah, if that matters to you, then you may want to just stick with the original Terre d'Hermès or the Parfum. And yes, you can also layer this with like Encre Noire, or whatever you want to layer it with, because I know people like that smokiness. So maybe for a next flanker, what they could do is they could make a smoky flanker to Terre d'Hermès, like something that's, so people don't have to keep layering it with Encre Noire. They could just have like one fragrance that's already smoky for them. So if they make a new Terre d'Hermès, I'd like to see a smoky version with like some kind of smoke or incense or something in there, so just make it a little better. Moving on from that, we have also birch wood as well. Birch could also be a good improvement to Terre d'Hermès, like kind of like Creed Amanthus style. Some birch in there usually smells really nice. But yeah, moving on, next is Prada Amber Pour Homme. Prada Amber Pour Homme. I don't know where to start with this fragrance because I had a lot of expectations for this. Kind of, the name says amber in it, so I expected it to be like a nice warm amber fragrance, and it's not at all. So what you get is soapy, powdery, No, actually scratch that. It's mainly powdery, like a baby powder in a bottle, with some musk and maybe slightly soapy, but mainly it's just musky and powdery, and you can't really smell any notes in here besides musk and baby powder. To me, I think this is an absolute disaster of a fragrance. I think this is really bad. I think this is something that smells like an old lady or maybe a newborn baby or something like that, but it's definitely not something you would want to wear unless you were maybe an old lady or a girl that really likes baby powder smelling stuff. You could, I don't know, like if you really want to pull off that baby powder smell, then I would suggest maybe layering this with something else. So if you want to make other fragrances more powdery, this is pretty much baby powder in a bottle. So this will definitely make another fragrance more powdery. But overall, I would recommend trying, maybe avoid Prada Amber Pour Homme, because it's not going to get you compliments or anything like that. It's not in the same kind of powdery genre as like La Nuit de l'Homme or anything like that either. This is, it's not even like Luna Rosa Black. Like I know people say Luna Rosa Black is powdery, but this is like times 10. This is like really powdery. I can't say much else besides musky baby powder in a bottle. Performance is good though, so if that matters, then yeah. Next would be, this is Him by Zadig and Voltaire. Zadig and Voltaire, sorry. This is Him, Zadig and Voltaire, and no, it's not this Zadig, it is Zadig. So just, yeah, cool fact is this is made by the same perfumer as Eros, Aurélien Guichard, and this smells just like Just Rock. It smells pretty much the same as Just Rock, just a little bit more fresh. What you get is woody, like a dry woody vanilla, very sweet. There's some sandalwood. It's quite bitter, dry, smoky. I did say it smells almost like oud, and if I had to compare it to a fragrance, then definitely Just Rock or Parfums de Marly Pegasus Exclusive. It's in that same family as like Pegasus Exclusive. You could even compare this to like a Tom Ford Oud Wood or something along the lines of that, Oud Wood. I'm not sure if it's quite as sweet as like Mancera Red Tobacco, but even in that same family as well. Just no tobacco in this, by the way. So no tobacco, just woody vanilla, and I think it is sandalwood. And sandalwood, like I've said, smells a lot like oud sometimes. So this is one of those fragrances that does come across like a bit oudy. This is not going to be something that women will like. This is just a guilty pleasure if you want to smell like wood and vanilla. Very deep, rich, dark, smoky vanilla in this, and very woody fragrance. But overall, it's a scent you have to get used to, because you're not going to like it the first time you smell it. It's more of a, you wear it for your own enjoyment, but you would never wear this around anyone besides yourself. Okay, so maybe around a bonfire, if you want that wood smell, it'd be good outdoors, maybe around a bonfire or something. So next, Kenzo, hang on, shit, sorry, I've lost where I'm up to again. So Kenzo Homme Intense is the next fragrance. I might as well give you a backstory on Kenzo Homme Intense. Hang on. So yeah, a little backstory on Kenzo Homme Intense. I went to the pharmacist or the chemist, tested this a few times down at the shop. Every time I smelled it on a test strip, I thought it smelled really weird. So I ended up buying a little sample to test on my skin instead, because I just had a feeling it was like something to do with the test strip was making it smell weird. But no, it's just this fragrance anyway, so this might be like the third time I've tested it, or fourth even. And there is a very earthy, woody, dry, but wet kind of smell to this. So it does smell a bit like a rainforest or a damp rainforest, or if you were cutting wood, like chopping wood in a rainforest, and it started to rain, then you would get this like wet, dry wood smell, which is hard to explain. It's not a damp wood, it's like a petrichor smell. So there is the dry wood in here, but there's also a petrichor smell, like as if it just started raining while you were cutting wood. And the woody smell is not really like any other wood you've smelled before. This is like bamboo. I believe it's a bamboo kind of wood in here, with maybe some cedar or something vetiver, but mainly bamboo. And the closest fragrances I could maybe say this smells like would be Mont Blanc Explorer. No, Mont Blanc Starwalker, sorry. Because that also has bamboo in it, but Starwalker is way more fresh, less woody. It's more juicy, watery. This is more challenging, earthy, petrichor, wood, rainforest, even a little green around the edges of this one. So this does have some freshness from like citrus or something in here, but then it is like a peppery wood. So that's probably the best way to describe it, like a peppery wood with some earthy undertones and like petrichor, rain. Yes, it's very hard fragrance to describe, but it is very unique. So keep that in mind. Spicy, woody, unique, but fresh, earthy. You gotta try this at least once as well, by the way, so you know what I mean. Next is a fragrance that I don't really like that much. It's Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. So Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. So this was a fragrance that actually got some hype online, but then it kind of went quiet and then came back, and then like people occasionally do hype this up, but I think right now it's got a little bit more underground again. Anyway, this does have a tobacco smell to it. I get some tobacco when I smell this, but I also smell something medicinal in here. It's a little medicinal, sweet, spicy, leathery. There is some licorice and sandalwood in here, or something I can smell like that, licorice or sandalwood. I thought I could smell tobacco, but apparently it's not on the nose. So the tobacco must just be like something you smell that's not actually in there. But it's got that Burberry London kind of smell in the opening. Then the dry down gets a little bit more spicy, leathery, medicinal. And yeah, you can definitely smell the licorice in here. That's what I don't like. I think this smells too much like licorice, and that's why I don't really like it. It is very sweet, and I don't really see who would wear this besides maybe Middle Eastern people. It comes across as Oriental, Middle Eastern, maybe even slightly Indian fragrance. They like their spices and stuff in India a lot as well, so that's why I think maybe India. So yeah, I could imagine some people liking this. I think it may have cloves in there. There may even be like cloves or something. But it is quite sweet and medicinal. It's not for everyone, but the dry down does get a lot better, by the way. If you want to try that, look forward to the dry down, but it's more of a mature scent as well. We'll just quickly move on to the next, which is CK Shock. And I just gotta find my notes for CK Shock. Okay, here. I'll show you the bottle first. CK One Shock, sorry, One Shock. So I'm guessing this is a flanker to the CK1, but this is like nothing like the original DNA in it at all. This is a tobacco fragrance. It does smell like tobacco, but you also get like a boozy opening. It's almost like Bentley for Men Intense, where it's that tobacco, that boozy rum kind of smell. And then you also get a little bit of 1 million Privé in here as well. 1 million Privé, Bentley for Men Intense. And some people say Burberry London. I don't smell too much Burberry London in here. I think it's more 1 million Privé and Bentley for Men Intense, because it is vanilla-y, tobacco-y, boozy. It is a mix of many different fragrances. Like, I think the first time I smelled this, I could smell like something that was in La Nuit de l'Homme that was in here too. There was just something that reminded me of that, even though they're completely different, like apples and oranges, nothing alike. This, you do get like hints of other fragrances in this, so if you like that, then definitely it's not one-dimensional. It does smell like a lot of different fragrances. So I do think this is kind of disgusting though. I think this is a little bit gross. I don't like the smell of it. It's too animalic in the opening. It's too boozy and tobacco-y. It's just old man scent. Not for me. And ironically, the bottle is the complete opposite of an old man bottle. It looks like it's targeted towards teenagers or something, because it's got graffiti on the bottle. And I don't know who the audience or who it's marketed at, but it's very mature smelling, and I'm assuming it's just the tobacco lovers out there, like your Naxos fans, your Burberry London fans, maybe the Bentley for Men Intense fans, like those kind of people that are gonna enjoy this the most. Okay, yeah, I think that's all 5 fragrances I've gone through. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 fragrances that I've already reviewed now, and I'll just finish the video there. And thanks for watching, and I try to keep this short, sweet, and simple. And until next time, I'll see you later, folks, and peace out. Thanks for watching again. Like and subscribe. Not sure if you can see my cat over there, but say see you to my cat too. See you, kitty.